Hello everyone and welcome for this new recipe. I'm the French baker. I'm a professional baker for pretty much 18 years now, and today we're gonna review the recipe of the focaccia. We're gonna make it together from the beginning till the end and explaining every step properly. So to start this recipe, you need to check the equipment that you need. This is gonna be a focaccia not on sourdough, but this is gonna be a focaccia on yeast. Yeast is a natural thing also. There's nothing wrong with the yeast. For this recipe, you will need some white bread flour, 1 kilo. Be careful, don't check the numbers on the video because it might be a different number because for work, I made a much bigger batch. You're gonna have water, 725 grams. For the water and its temperature, check the video how to calculate the temperature that you need. Otherwise, to make it a bit more simple for you, if you're in winter, you can take water at about 25-30 degrees. If you're in summer, you can take water at 10 degrees. It should be quite okay. Then you will need some salt. For salt, you're gonna take 20 grams. Yeast, you're gonna take 7 grams of fresh yeast. One day before, you're gonna make the biga, and you're gonna need 250 grams. The biga, it's another process that is done very often in some pizza dough, focaccia, Italian bread. So it's just a mixing of flour and water and yeast, and it's just a very roughly mixing that you do, and you leave it to rest for the whole night or 24 hours before making your recipe. And this process in this type of dough is going to give you a little bit more flavor, more ferment, and it should give you a dough with much more holes inside. And you will often see like the pizza dough, they pretty much most of the time do it with the biga. And then at the end of mixing, you will add some olive oil, of course. You will need 85 grams of olive oil. Try to get some good olive oil. It's just gonna change everything for your recipe. And then for the topping of your focaccia, you're free to put whatever you want. I like to put inside some herbs like thyme, rosemary, olives, dry tomatoes. You can put some cheese, you can put some greens, you can put everything is possible. So it depends on your taste. So at the beginning of the recipe, I recommend you to weigh all ingredients separately. Like this, you're gonna make sure you don't make any mistake and you don't forget anything. On YouTube, I can't give every techniques that I know as a baker because even I'm not monetized. So when you make bread, you need a very specific temperature. But this course, I give it in Udemy. So you can check in the description of the video and you will have a link to Udemy. You pour the water in the bowl of your mixer. I recommend you to put the water first all the time because sometimes when you put the flour first in your mixer and then you put the water, it depends on the mixer really, but sometimes you can have like some piece of dough that's still in the bottom and that's never gonna mix together with the rest of the dough. So it can be a problem. And when you pour the water first, it doesn't happen. Then you pour all the ingredients, the flour, yeast, salt, biga together. And for this, you're gonna mix pretty much 4 minutes in the first speed. That means in the slow speed. And once it's mixed properly, you're gonna go to the fast speed with your mixer. So second speed. If you have like a KitchenAid, maybe it's like 5, 6, something like this. If you have a KitchenAid, don't put at 10, otherwise it's far too fast. So the focaccia is very particular because it's a very soft dough. So when you're gonna start mixing in second speed, it's gonna take a long time to mix properly your dough, and depending on the gluten of your flour also, it can take even more time or less time. At half mixing of your dough, pretty much in second speed, you can add the herbs if you want to put some herbs in your recipe. Like this, is gonna spread everywhere and give a little bit extra flavor. Then you can add the oil. But here there's two schools, I would say, for the focaccia. First school, you can put the oil like I do before it's finished to mix, and it's gonna finish mixing with the oil. And some people wait until the dough is properly mixed and then they add the oil. So you need to try and you will see the difference. Me at work, I put the oil before just to gain a little bit of time on my recipe. And then you keep mixing in second speed until your dough is beautiful, smooth, it doesn't stick anywhere into the bowl. Make sure your dough, it doesn't get higher than 28 degrees. It can be a problematic otherwise. 28 in general, it's quite a lot in bakery. For this focaccia, for this recipe, direct recipe, it's all right. The mixing is quite long for the focaccia, so it might happen. But try not to get more than 28. Once my mixing is finished, I like to take out my dough from the bowl with a scraper and some water. I don't use the flour everywhere because it's dirty. So I just take out my dough, I put it in the container. Of course, I check the gluten network. I explain how to do and what is it in many videos, so you can check also the other videos. Then I close the lid of the container and I leave it for a rest of 1 hour. During this time, you can do your prep for the topping you want to put on the focaccia. So there is some black olives, green olive, dried tomatoes, and capers. Don't hesitate to put a lot of topping. You can put the topping inside the dough. It's always better with a lot of topping. So 30 minutes later, I'm gonna give a first stretch and fold to this dough. And as you can see, the dough is already a little bit bigger with some bubbles. Water your hand and stretch and fold. If you don't put water in your hand, it's gonna stick everywhere and you're gonna have some dough and it's not gonna be nice to do. So as you can see, stretch and fold, and look at this beautiful dough. You can see there's lots of strength and it's very smooth. That's exactly what we want. You leave it for another half an hour. You're gonna give another quick stretch and fold. And you're gonna prepare the tray where you're gonna put your focaccia for baking directly. That you can use the tray from your oven. Probably you know the black tray, which is this size. You put some baking paper on the bottom and you put some olive oil pretty much everywhere. You're gonna stretch and fold your dough and then you're gonna put it on top of your tray. And then you're gonna put it to proof. Pretty much 50 minutes later, 1 hour, maybe a little bit more, it depends how it proofed. It has to double up inside. And when it's much bigger, you're ready to take out your dough and then process to make the focaccia before baking. So at this point, what I do, I just spread the oil everywhere on the baking paper, and then you can just stretch your dough everywhere on each corner of your tray. It's very simple to do. Don't need to be too gentle. The dough is strong. You just spread it each corner, like to make a beautiful square, at least the shape of your tray. And don't forget to use a lot of oil, otherwise it's going to be very sticky. Then after this, it's the time where you want to put the topping of your focaccia. As you can see, I put everything evenly, and then I put my red onions everywhere. You can also put some big grain of salt on the top. It's quite nice. So you stretch your dough to the size of your tray, and you put the topping. And you're going to put it to proof again for pretty much half an hour, 1 hour. It will depend on your dough. You need to check regularly, but do the exact same way I told you just before to prove it. And after 30 minutes, you start to check it to see how it is. So after 30 minutes, your dough is gonna double up again. It's gonna be very fluffy. And then you're gonna make, with your finger like this, you're gonna make some holes inside. Very simply, you just push. You just push into the dough and you just press it. That's all. You can put also some extra olive oil everywhere, of course. The more olive oil there is, the better it's gonna be. Olive oil is the key of the focaccia recipe, really. So if you don't put olive oil, if you use another type of oil, this is not gonna be a focaccia. You're gonna preheat your oven at 235 degrees without fan, with the heat on the top and the bottom. Here it's a professional oven, of course, so it's different. But for the focaccia, you use your home oven. So you put your focaccia into the oven and do not forget to humidify your focaccia and your oven inside. For this video, I'm gonna give you the basic technique. You take another tray, you put it on the bottom of your oven, and then you're gonna put your focaccia in the middle and you pour some water into the bottom tray. You close your oven and it's ready for baking. Like this, the tray is gonna warm and it's gonna make some humidity inside your oven. And you should have something like this. The focaccia start to make some bubbles everywhere. It's gonna be beautiful. After pretty much 25 minutes, you need to check from 20 minutes, just in case, and then you should take it out when it's this color, or maybe more baked if that's what you want. One other very important thing to do after baking, we don't see in this video. You need to pour again some oil on the dough while it's warm, very important. So as soon as you take out from the oven, you put some olive oil a little bit everywhere. Don't need to put 1 liter, of course, but you pour some oil. It's gonna be absorbed by the dough and mamma mia, it's gonna be delicious. Then after this, you can cut your focaccia and you should have beautiful focaccia, very soft, with big holes and lots of flavor. That's something you can do on a Sunday. That's something you can do anytime, actually. But yeah, you're gonna make your family and your friends very happy with this, because this is really something delicious. You can find the recipe and more recipe with more tips than on YouTube on Udemy and Skillshare. It would be super cool if you can go and check this. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned, subscribe. Thank you very much. See you next time.